Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of the SWUS NBA Wednesday night. We got 9 games on the board. As far as Tuesday, I had a good one. Went 2-0. Only placed 2 bets. I had the Pacers plus 3.5. Crazy game. Halliburton, man. If he misses that 3, I don't know if you saw it. He made like a circus 3-point shot to tie it with 3 seconds left. If he misses that 3, if the Bucks get the rebound, the Pacers most likely get a foul in before the clock runs out, and my plus 3.5 probably loses. So Halliburton saves me there on Pacers plus 3.5. I also bet Syracuse plus 3.5 in that one. So a nice 2-0 night. Nice little stretch for me. Let's keep it going. 9 games on Wednesday night. Let's do it.
I mean, is Cooper Rush worth 2.5 points?
I would hope Quinn Ewers put up a decent stat line against Arizona State. If he didn't, we have a real problem.
You can say the same thing about Creighton. Okay, they had the one good game against Kansas at home.
When Toast talks about the kicking market, it's like some earth is flat shit. Andy, true or false, this is going to be a dog walking.
Dog walking. This is my dog walking of the day. I think it's going to be very ugly. Dog walking. I think this is going to be ugly.
Hey, get the sauce. First up, we got a battle here. Oklahoma City on the road in Boston. These two teams have met this season. It was back on January 5th in Oklahoma City. Final score was 105-92. Thunder won and covered. Boston was at full strength. Oklahoma City was actually missing Chet Holmgren and Alex Caruso in that game. So a shorthanded Oklahoma City team beat Boston pretty easily. And I mean, it makes sense. One thing Oklahoma City has been so good at this year is handling their business against great teams. It's actually crazy how good they are when they play elite opponents. OKC against good teams this year, against top 10 offenses, 15-2 against the spread. Against top 10 defenses, 12-10-1. Against the spread. So they've been very profitable to bet when they play good teams. Meanwhile, that has not been the case with Boston. The Celtics against top 10 offenses, 8-9 against the spread. Against top 10 defenses, 7-11-1 against the spread. Now, when we're looking at efficiency numbers from these two teams, obviously we're going to see a ton of green on the graphic. These are 2 elite offenses, 2 elite defenses. The huge difference here is pace of play. Oklahoma City, 3rd in the NBA in pace in the last 10 games. Boston is 30th. So we got one of the fastest paced teams in the NBA against one of the slowest paced teams in the NBA. And there's an interesting trend with that. Check it out. Boston, when they've played fast-paced teams this year, top 5 in pace, 3-10 to the under. Top 10 in pace, 8-16 to the under. So it seems like Boston makes it a point to slow the game down when they see these fast-paced teams. Now, as far as matching these two teams up on paper, I mean, with the Oklahoma City offense, it's really tough to find mismatches anywhere because they're truly elite across the board. Paint, mid-range shooting, 3-point shooting, they can score from anywhere. So there's really nothing to look at here. One thing I will say on this side of the court is I am not worried about the Celtics defense. I know the numbers look kind of shaky in their last handful of games. In their last 7 games, they have a defensive rating up close to 116, which is certainly not elite. But you got to remember that Boston's been playing a lot of games shorthanded recently. Drew Holiday missed some time. Porzingis missed some time. Brown missed a game. Tatum missed a game. So you look at the Celtics numbers from the last 7 games, the defense doesn't look great. We haven't seen the full-strength Celtics play many games recently. So you look at the Celtics defensive numbers over the last 7 games, and it doesn't look great. We know a full-strength Boston Celtics team can play some defense. Now, on the other side of the court, when we're talking about the Celtics offense, obviously we need to look at the three-point line. This Boston offense takes more threes than any other team in the NBA, and bad news for the Celtics, Oklahoma City's been elite defensively out there. One thing I will say, though, Oklahoma City has not really struggled this year, as I'm sure you know. They've been arguably the best team in the NBA this season, but teams that shoot a lot of threes might be something that Oklahoma City has problems with. Oklahoma City against 3-point shooting teams, top 5 in 3-point frequency, 4-7 against the spread. Top 10 in 3-point frequency, 11-11-1 against the spread. So if you're trying to find a spot to fade Oklahoma City, a team that takes a lot of 3-point shots would probably be the spot to do it. Boston definitely fits that mold. Injuries on the Oklahoma City side, they're missing a piece here. Jalen Williams has been ruled out of this one. Other than that, OKC should be good to go. On the Boston side, we got Jason Tatum listed as questionable. Also, Kristaps Porzingis most likely not playing here. He's listed as doubtful. As far as betting this game, I mean, I took Oklahoma City plus 4.5. I took it right before Jalen Williams was ruled out. So I took it. It dropped down to 4. Jalen Williams got ruled out. It moved back up to 4.5. Still, I mean, laying 4.5 points to what is probably the best team in the NBA just seems crazy. I realize that analytically, maybe Boston's a little bit better than they've shown. They've played with their food a lot this year. but I'm getting 4.5 points with the best team in the NBA, so I'm doing it. OKC plus 4.5 next. Charlotte's on the road in Atlanta. The Hawks have taken both matchups this year, but they didn't cover either of them. So Charlotte is 0-2 straight up, but 2-0 against the spread against this Hawks team so far this year. Important to point out, though, that these two teams have not played since November 30th, so it's been a while. As far as how these two teams match up right now, well, we're looking at two of the worst defenses in the NBA. In the last 10 games, the Hawks are 29th in defensive efficiency. The Hornets are 28th. Now, on the Atlanta side, you at least can give them the excuse of a strong schedule. They're second in strength of schedule in the last 10, but the Hornets are 13th. Regardless, we know that neither of these teams are playing much defense right now. Now, we know this Hawks team likes to get out in transition. They're not particularly good at it, but they do try. They're third in the NBA in transition frequency. Charlotte, 26th in defensive efficiency in transition. So the Hawks should have opportunities to score in the fast break in this one. Check this out, though. What's another thing this Hawks offense has done a lot of? Attack the paint. A lot. They're actually first in the NBA in paint frequency in the last 10 games. Charlotte's defense has actually done a solid job at keeping their opponents out of the paint. And check this out, it shows in the results. Charlotte against top 5 offenses in paint frequency, 5-2 against the spread. Against top 10 offenses in paint frequency, 12-6 against the spread. So betting Charlotte against these teams that attack the basket, it's been profitable. The weakness of this Hornets defense all season has been the three-point line. They're a terrible three-point defense and have been all year. Hawks don't shoot many threes at all. This is not last year's Hawks team. This is a Hawks team that's relying on getting to the rim. So as bad as this Hornets defense has been, I don't necessarily hate the matchup here. As far as Charlotte's offense goes, I mean, it's pretty bad, but honestly, the Hawks defense may be worse. If LaMelo Ball plays, which he's supposed to, we should see a ton of pick and rolls. Hawks defense has struggled with the pick and roll all season. What I don't like for the Hornets offense, though, is they don't seem to be taking as many threes recently. They've been attacking the interior. They're actually 4th in paint frequency in the last 10 games. The reason I don't like that is that's actually been the only area of the court where Atlanta's played some decent defense. Injuries on the Charlotte side. Now, I want to be clear. As I'm recording this, I have not seen an updated injury report for the Hornets. Let me see. No, still got nothing. So I'm putting up what I'm looking at now, but I haven't seen an updated report. Nurkic is listed as questionable. Okogie is ruled out. He's been out. That's not new. On the Hawks side, I have seen an updated Hawks injury report. Trae Young and Karis LeVert both listed as questionable. As far as betting this game, I like the Hornets here, man. I have this at about 5, so I can get an 8.5 right now. I haven't pulled the trigger, but I think I'm about to. Here's the thing. If Trae Young and LeVert are ruled in, we could probably get a better number. So in terms of timing the market, I don't know if it's the smartest decision right now to pull the trigger. That being said, if they're ruled out, plus 8.5 will be a great ticket to be holding. So I like the Hornets either way. I will be betting the Hornets at some point. Yeah, I'm on Charlotte plus the points here. Next game, Philadelphia on the road in Toronto. The Raps have swept the Sixers this year. They've met twice, once in Toronto, once in Philly. Raptors 2-0 straight up, 2-0 against the spread against this Sixers team so far this year. Last time they played was about a month ago. In terms of efficiency, Toronto's been the better team. In the last 10 games, the Sixers are 26th offensively, 27th defensively, 15th in strength of schedule. The Raptors 25th offensively, 14th defensively, 23rd in strength of schedule. So the Sixers have played a stronger schedule. In fact, in the last 5 games, the Sixers are 5th and the Raps are 28th in strength of schedule. So when we're talking about the Raptors playing much better basketball than the Sixers recently, we do have to take note that they have played a much easier schedule. Regardless, though, we know Philadelphia is a bad team, and you know the drill when it comes to the Raps against bad teams. They handle their business. Toronto against bottom 10 offenses this year, 14-5 against the spread. Toronto against bottom 10 defenses this year, 9-4-1. Against the spread. So betting the Raptors against bad teams, extremely profitable this season. As far as how they match up on the court, we know Toronto's offense is going to get out and run in transition. Philadelphia's been terrible defensively against these types of teams. Sixers against teams that run in transition, top 5 in transition frequency, 4-7 against the spread, top 10 in transition frequency, 5-14 against the spread. And I have even more numbers that point towards a Toronto bet here. So we know this Raptors offense does not take many jump shots. This is an offense that prioritizes getting into the paint. They're actually first in paint frequency on the year. First. No team has attacked the paint more frequently than the Raptors this season. This is bad news for Philadelphia. Not only are the Sixers one of the worst interior defenses in the NBA and have been all year, they're actually 30th in defensive efficiency in the paint. But there's also trends that kill the Sixers here. Philadelphia against teams that attack the paint. Top 5 in paint frequency, 2-7 against the spread. Top 10 in paint frequency, 5-14 against the spread. And look at the other side of that. Toronto against bad paint defenses. Versus the bottom 5 in defensive efficiency in the paint. Raps are 6-0 against the spread this year. Against the bottom 10, 13-7-1 against the spread. So actually just 6-6-1 against the bottom 10. But 6-0 against the spread against the bottom 5 paint defenses. So look, I'm not trying to tell you that this Raptors offense is good. I'm not trying to tell you we can trust the Raptors offense. I am telling you that on paper is a very good matchup for them. Philadelphia's defense is next level ass. In the last 7 games, the Sixers have a defensive rating close to 123. So I trust the Raptors to score points here. Now on the other side of the court, straight up, the Raptors defense has been significantly better than the Sixers offense. I will say one of the strengths of the Raptors defense is forcing turnovers. Philadelphia, as bad as they've been this year, they're actually pretty solid when it comes to turnovers. They do a good job protecting the basketball. So, I mean, the Sixers should win the turnover battle here. Now we get to the injuries, and there's a lot of them in this game. So on the Philadelphia side, no Tyrese Maxey, still no Kyle Lowry. Paul George has been ruled out. Drummond is on the report as well. He's listed as questionable. On the Toronto side, check this out. No Quickly, no Barrett, no Ingram, no Grady Dick. Scotty Barnes is also on the report, listed as questionable. Injuries everywhere in this one. In terms of betting it, even with all those pieces out, even if Scotty Barnes doesn't play, I still have this one at 5. So I'm leaning Toronto. If Scotty Barnes is going to play, I will lay it. I'll lay 4 points with the Raptors if he's going to play. This line makes me think he's probably not going to play. We'll wait and see. Definitely leaning towards Toronto here. Going to wait this one out. Don't have a bet as of right now. Next, Dallas is on the road in San Antonio. These teams have met 3 times this year, and the Mavs have owned the Spurs. They're 3-0 straight up, 3-0 against the spread against San Antonio this year. So the Spurs looking to avoid getting 4-0 swept here by Dallas. As far as how these two teams are playing recently, it's actually pretty close. In the last 10 games, the Mavs are 29th offensively, 20th defensively, 17th in strength of schedule. The Spurs 26th offense, 26th defense, 10th in strength of schedule. Neither of these teams have been profitable recently. The Spurs are 2-8 against the spread in their last 10, and the Mavs are 3-7 against the spread in the last 10. So neither of these teams playing particularly good basketball right now. The question here is, who is going to win this rebounding battle? Because we're talking about a battle between two of the worst rebounding teams in the NBA. In the last 10 games, the Mavs are 28th in offensive rebounding rate, 26th in defensive rebounding rate. The Spurs 24th and 29th. So 2 bottom 5 rebounding units here. Weirdly enough, that actually might be indicative of an over. Check this out. Dallas against bad rebounding teams. Against bottom 10 offensive rebounding teams, 13-9 to the over. Against bottom 10 defensive rebounding teams, 16-4 to the over. San Antonio not as dramatic, but still slightly pointing towards an over. Against bottom 10 offensive rebounding teams, 10-9 to the over. Against bottom 10 defensive rebounding teams, 11-8 to the over. Kind of thin, but I thought it was interesting enough to include. Now check this out. There actually is something I like here for the Dallas defense. San Antonio's offense is a unit that likes to get out and run in transition. They're 6th in the NBA in transition frequency. That's actually good news for the Mavs, because Dallas has been one of the best, if not the best defense in the NBA against transition this year. They're 2nd in the NBA defensive efficiency, 3rd in points per game allowed in transition. And by the way, if you're thinking, oh, well, Kyle, most of those defensive data points came from earlier in the season when Dallas was healthy. Actually, it's the opposite. Dallas is playing their best defense of the season right now against the fast break. In the last 7 games, they have a defensive rating of 103 against the fast break. So even with all the injuries to the Dallas front court, this still might be a favorable matchup for the Mavericks defensively. Now, on the other side of the floor, I got to say, I have no idea. I have no idea what we can expect consistently from this Dallas offense with all those injuries. I mean, we don't even really know who's playing at this moment. We do know that the San Antonio defense is absolutely terrible without Wembanyama, but Dallas offense, I mean, it's just a huge question mark to me right now. Injuries on the Dallas side. Now, this is another team where I don't have an updated injury report as of right now. PJ Washington and Dante Exum currently listed as questionable, but again, haven't seen today's report. Obviously, Anthony Davis, Lively, Gafford, those pieces are still out. So we'll have to wait and see what's going on with Dallas. Well, actually, we don't have to wait and see. I bet this game already. We'll talk about it in a second. On the San Antonio side, Devin Vassell listed as questionable. Same goes for Jeremy Sohan. Straight up, I have this one at 3.5, 4. So I took Dallas at +6 when I saw it. Yeah, if Dante Exum and PJ Washington get ruled out, probably get screwed here, but same goes on the other side. If Vassell's ruled out, if Sohan's ruled out, it'll work in my favor. So I like the bet. I'm on Dallas +6. Bet it earlier today. Let's do it. Utah is on the road in Memphis. These two teams have played twice this year. Memphis took both of them, but Utah did cover the first one. It was a 2-point game, actually. A couple things to point out, though. Number one, it was in Utah, where the Jazz are a much more reliable team. Number two was on October 23rd. It was literally opening night. What are we talking about? 5 months ago? Who cares? Now, obviously, if we're talking about this Memphis team, we need to talk about the defense right now because it's been truly terrible. In the last 10 games, they're 25th in defensive efficiency. They are first in strength of schedule, so maybe we cut them a little bit of a slack for playing a strong schedule. But the current state of this Grizzlies defense, honestly, we need to consider having them on auto fade until Jaren Jackson Jr. is back in the rotation. He's scheduled to return next week, by the way. Memphis is 1-10-1. Against the spread in their last 12. 1-10-1. They've covered the number one time since February 11th, over a month ago. One cover. All that being said, as bad as the Grizzlies defense has been, the offense still looks pretty good, and this is a dream matchup against Utah here. For those that don't know, Grizzlies are an offense that love to get out in transition. They're first in the NBA in transition frequency, first in points per game in transition. So they run more fast breaks than any other team in the NBA. They score more points per game than any other team in the NBA in the fast break. The reason I'm bringing that up is they're playing Utah, who is dead last in transition frequency on the defensive side and dead last in points per game allowed in transition. We're talking about first when we're talking about the Memphis Grizzlies offense in transition, and 30th when we're talking about the Utah Jazz defense in transition. Now, when we're talking shot zones, I know the Grizzlies like to attack the paint a lot, and Utah defensively has actually been somewhat decent on the interior. It's the Jazz perimeter defense that's terrible. They're terrible against the three-point shot. Memphis, not a lot of three-point shooting. In fact, they've been pretty bad shooting the outside shot. So in that respect, I guess it's a decent matchup for the Jazz defense, but honestly, I can't get over those transition numbers. I don't care that the Memphis Grizzlies don't have much three-point shooting. They should have no problems scoring points on this terrible Jazz defense. Injuries in this one, we're talking about the Jazz, which means we have no idea. As of right now, Markkanen's listed as questionable. Keontae George is listed as doubtful. Jordan Clarkson is listed as questionable. So there actually is a chance we see the Jazz with their best pieces on the floor in this one. That's not something we always get to see. On the Memphis side, we got no Jaren Jackson Jr. still, and they miss him, as we talked about. Santi Aldama's also been ruled out. Zach Edey and Brandon Clark, both on the injury report, listed as questionable. So basically the entire front court for Memphis here. As far as betting this game, assuming all the questionables play on both sides, I have this one at about 14.5, which is where the line was. It's actually dropping down. I see 13. I even see a 12.5. right now. So it looks like the numbers come down a little bit. Maybe that's indicative of Lauri Markkanen and Jordan Clarkson playing in this game. We'll see. I won't lay points with the Memphis defense right now. If I was to place a bet right now, I would probably take the over. I see a 240.5. I would probably go that way. Maybe a Memphis. Over 240.5 next. Minnesota is on the road in Denver here. These two teams have played twice this year, and the T-Wolves have taken both of them. Denver did cover the first one back on November 1st, and if you're wondering why the Nuggets were catching points in that one, if you remember, Minnesota coming into the season, they went to the Western Conference Finals last year. It was the 5th game of the season, and the Nuggets were 0-4 against the spread. Remember, Denver didn't look all that great to start the season off, so they were catching points. They lost the game, but they covered. But regardless, as we enter this game, the Nuggets are 0-2 against this Timberwolves team so far this year. As far as how these two teams are playing right now, actually very similar in terms of efficiency. In the last 10 games, the Timberwolves are 11th offensively, 12th defensively against the 4th strongest schedule. Denver, 2nd offense, 21st defense, 7th in strength of schedule. Now, something that jumped out at me when I was looking at this one is actually the turnover battle. Minnesota's been excellent in this department as of late. In the last 10 games, they're 2nd in the NBA in turnover rate. They've done a great job protecting the basketball, and they're playing a Nuggets defense that forces 0 turnovers. And the Nuggets have not been profitable against teams that protect the ball. Against good turnover offenses, the top 5, they're 5-7 against the spread. Top 10, 8-12 against the spread. But in my opinion, betting this game comes down to 2 matchups. Number 1, the Nuggets interior offense against the Minnesota interior defense. If you look at the last 10 games, looks like a great matchup for the Nuggets. Denver's been one of the most efficient scoring offenses down low all season. In the last 10 games, they're 7th in paint frequency, 2nd in paint efficiency against a Minnesota defense that's 22nd in frequency, 13th in efficiency. So looking like a great matchup for Denver down low, right? Well, hold on. Here's the thing. We're talking about numbers from the last 10 games. Rudy Gobert didn't play in 9 of those 10 games. In case you don't know who Rudy Gobert is, he's the most important interior defensive piece for Minnesota. He's back. He's healthy. Remember, the Timberwolves beat this team twice already. So with Rudy Gobert back in the rotation, it actually might be a decent matchup for Minnesota defensively. Remember, last year, this was the best interior defense in the NBA. Might not be that bad of a matchup for the Minnesota defense. And on the other side of the floor, I think I like this matchup for the Minnesota offense as well. We've been talking about this. Minnesota, an extremely three-point happy offense this year. They're third in three-point frequency in the last 10 games. Denver's been struggling to defend the three-point line. They're 29th in defensive efficiency against the three-point shot in their last 10 games. Denver this season against the top 5 teams in terms of three-point frequency, 1-7 against the spread. So against the teams that take the most threes in the NBA, Nuggets are 1-7 against the spread this year. Injuries in this game, Rudy Gobert has been added to the injury report. So I know I just said Rudy Gobert is back, but since recording that, he's been added. So we don't know if Rudy Gobert is going to play. On the Denver side, looks like Aaron Gordon's going to miss another game. Strother is still out as well. You got Jamal Murray and Jokic on the report, but they're listed as probable. As far as betting this game goes, I got to say I'm disappointed in this one because I had this one at about 3 for Denver. I thought it was going to open up at 6, and I was going to smash Minnesota. That was the plan. I was sitting here waiting for it to open. It opens up. Denver -3. I'm seeing some 3.5. So I'm actually BetMGM just dropped it to 2.5 as I said that. So yeah, little disappointed. I thought this was going to be a great spot to bet Minnesota. The market's on top of it because they're not giving us a big number. I like Minnesota. I'm not betting it at 3.5. You got to be crazy. Thought we were going to get a 6. So I think it's a good matchup for Minnesota, but unfortunately, especially not knowing if Gobert is going to play, as of right now, I'm waiting it out. Next. New York's on the road in Portland. This will be the first time these two teams meet this year. As far as how they're playing right now, neither seem to be trending in the right direction. I mean, obviously, Jalen Brunson just went down for the Knicks. Portland, what are they, 1-4 against the spread in their last 5? So Portland, after that nice little hot streak they were on, they were 5-1 straight up, 5-1 against the spread. They've now lost 4 games in a row, and the defense just seems to have fallen off a cliff here for the Blazers. They have a defensive rating up close to 121 in their last 4 games. I will say, though, I think we need to cut the Blazers defense a little bit of slack. We were just talking about how the last 4 games, the Blazers defense seems to have just fallen off a cliff. Look who they've played. Boston, Oklahoma City, Detroit, Golden State. 2 of the best offenses in the NBA and 2 of the hottest offenses in the NBA. Yes, the Knicks are a top 5 offense this year, but without Jalen Brunson on the floor, they're obviously not going to be quite as potent on that side of the court. I would imagine we'll see the Knicks attacking the interior at a very high rate. Without Brunson, guys like Towns, Anunoby, Hart, they're all going to see more usage, all guys that like to get to the basket. Here's the problem with that. It plays directly into the strength of this Portland defense, and it almost doesn't make sense because Ayton's been out, Robert Williams III has been out. This Portland interior defense has been excellent. Look at the last 5 games. They're second in the NBA in defensive efficiency in the paint in the last 5 games. That's against, we just named them, Golden State, Boston, playing like the best teams in the NBA. Second in defensive efficiency in the paint in the last 5 games. So despite Portland's ugly-ass defensive numbers in their last few games, I actually like the matchup here against New York. Without Brunson, that offense is going to be limited. I think the Blazers can play some good defense in this game. Now, on the other side of the floor, I'm really not sure what to expect. The Blazers' offense had been so good during that stretch. Definitely seems to have taken a step back in the last few games. They're actually 20th in offensive efficiency in their last 5 games. And I've got uncertainty with this Knicks defense as well. This has been a struggling defense for a lot of this season, but you take Brunson out and you give guys like McBride, Bridges, Hart, and Anunoby extended minutes. I don't think it's crazy to say that the Knicks are a better defensive team without Jalen Brunson. So I actually might like this matchup for the Knicks defense as well. Injuries on the Knicks side, it's just Jalen Brunson. He's going to miss another game. Other than that, New York should be good to go. On the Portland side, still no DeAndre Ayton. Also, Jeremy Grant has been downgraded to doubtful. So they're going to be missing Ayton and Grant for this one. As far as betting this game goes, as I'm recording this, you can get a 4.5 or 5. That's where the line's at right now. My model is saying bet the Knicks at that number, but I just can't do it. I want to bet the under. That's what I want to do, but I mean, it's at 225.5, 226. I have it at about 226. So I lean towards the Knicks, lean towards the under. That's where I want to take. I want to take the under, 226. I don't know if I have the balls to actually do it, though. Next up, we got Phoenix on the road in Houston, and it looks like the Suns are going to be at full strength for this one. Nobody on the injury report as of right now. On the Houston side, I got good news and I got bad news. Steady Freddy is back. Well, he's most likely back. Fred VanVleet listed as probable. Bad news, they're still without Thompson, who's such an important piece. Really don't know what to expect from the Rockets. We cannot trust the Rockets with no VanVleet and no Thompson. Well, Van Vliet's back, but he hasn't played, so I don't know how much we can lean on Freddie here. So, yeah, I'm just going to pass on this one. We'll talk about it on the live show next. Clippers are on the road in Miami. These two teams have met this year. It was back in January. The Clips got the win. Final score was 109-98 in LA. Now, we do need to mention that the Clippers are on a back-to-back. They just played a game in New Orleans earlier tonight. On 0 days rest this year, the Clippers are 5-8 against the spread, 7-6 straight up. As far as how these two teams are matching up right now, they're actually pretty close. In the last 10 games, the Clippers are 20th offensively, 19th defensively, 8th in strength of schedule. The Heat, 17th offense, 8th defense, 12th in strength of schedule. One thing we definitely do know about this matchup is we're going to see a slow-paced game. In the last 10 games, the Clippers are 27th in pace and the Heat are 29th. Two of the slowest paced teams in the NBA right now, and that might favor the Clippers. On the season against the bottom 5 teams in terms of pace in the NBA, so the 5 slowest teams in the NBA, Clippers are 6-1 against the spread. So maybe a slow-paced game favors the Clippers. Rebounding battle should also go to the Clippers here. Miami's solid on the defensive side, but they're one of the worst, if not the worst, offensive rebounding team in the NBA. 29th in offensive rebounding rate in the last 10 games, and they've been terrible when they see good defensive rebounding teams. Against the top 10 teams in terms of defensive rebounding rate, Miami's 4-17 against the spread. So another angle pointing towards the Clippers here. Now, one thing I definitely do like for the Heat, though, is the outside shooting. The Clippers have been struggling defensively against the three-point shot for a while now. They're bottom 5 in the NBA in the last 10 games. And this Miami team has actually been knocking down some threes. In the last 10 games, they're 11th in frequency, 10th in efficiency. Now, we are seeing them come back down to earth a little bit. But no question, Miami should definitely have opportunities to knock down some outside shots in this one. As far as injuries, as I'm recording this, I don't have an updated injury report for the Clippers yet. Norman Powell and Ben Simmons are obviously going to be out there, not scheduled to come back till next week. On the Miami side, we got Terry Rozier listed as probable. Still no Jovic. Other than that, Heat should be good to go. So we got an update to this line here. Miami's now laying 2.5. The Clippers were favored earlier. Most likely, this is indicative of Kawhi Leonard not playing. He almost never plays on back-to-back, so it makes sense. Honestly, I had the Clippers as like 3 or 4 point favorites with Kawhi in. So without Kawhi Leonard, even on a back-to-back, I would probably still lean the Clips here, catching the points. We'll talk about it on the live show. I don't have a bet on this game as of right now. Live shows, we got 2 of them. We're going to be live early to go through the college basketball games. We're into the conference tournaments now, so we got games tipping off early. So we'll be live at 11 a.m. or 11:30 a.m. Eastern time. I'll let you know. And then we'll be live at the normal time, 4 p.m. Eastern time. If you're able to make it, we'd love to see you in the comments. Let's keep the positivity rolling. Yeah, hit me up in the Discord if you need me. Later.